Awesome. All right. Yay. Leanne, it's so good to see you. Thank you for saying yes to this.
Of course.
And just before I started recording, I just like for the world, Leanne looks so good. Like she looks so different than the last image and photo that I saw, which was not that long ago, and then like dramatically different than when you began.
Yeah. Yeah, I showed my middle child, she's almost 10, the before and after that I sent you, and she goes, "That was you?" Like, yeah, it was me. And that's the change. When you're in it and you're losing the weight, you don't necessarily see the changes in yourself. I mean, you can kind of see them, but when you see the before and after, it's another confirmation of all the work and dedication you've put into yourself right in front of your face.
Yep.
So, it's really nice to do the before, even though it's very intimidating to do, very heart-wrenching to do, because you don't really take pictures of yourself when you're at the weight that you don't want to be.
Yep.
Um, but then to take another one after, it really helps you see all the progress that you are making.
That's something I really like. Obviously, you I feel like you were like all in. Like I feel like whatever I asked you to do, you did. Like
Yeah.
whatever suggestions I made, like you followed. And that encouragement to take photos. And I'll just say, I always want to see stuff because I want to know that stuff is happening, but I also want to be like the reality check for the individual because
Hmm.
sometimes it can feel like, some people it's like you were very good also, just like the scale. And sometimes people are experiencing change. And if it's smaller, if it's incremental, or if it's up and down, which is often how weight loss works anyway,
Yep.
it can not feel like such progress is being made. But I just find it's so dramatic, like subtle changes, little, shadows, like we have more
Yeah.
angles in our face or our body.
Yeah, I
So I was
agree.
happy that you said yes to that.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest change for me, so I was so overweight that I was snoring a lot to the point where my husband wasn't even sleeping in the same bed with me.
You know what,
Um,
Leanne? I'm going to
yep.
stop you there and I'm going to ask that first question, and maybe that's what
Okay.
you're going to start to share.
Okay.
All right. All right. This is
Yep.
awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. So, question number one: what was life like before Fat Burning Pro?
Well, I mean, I was a personal trainer, and I always felt I was the fat personal trainer. Um, no matter how much I worked out a ton. I was still 170-ish. And then I was taught to eat X number of protein a day, trying to like make sure I got enough, and I was never getting enough. And then I was starving because I was working out so hard, and I was eating more than I should have been eating. And then I had back surgery. And even before back surgery, I couldn't really work out. So I was still eating the same. I had the back surgery, and then I proceeded to gain another 21 pounds. So I was 191 pounds, and I started snoring very badly to the point my husband wasn't even sleeping in bed anymore. He was sleeping on a pull-out couch that my kids had somehow broken.
Hey.
So he was starting to get to the point where he didn't even want to sleep on the pull-out couch because he was starting to get achy. His back was starting to hurt, his hips were starting to hurt. Physically, my snoring and my weight was now physically and mentally affecting him because he was no longer sleeping. And his stress levels were getting up. He wasn't in a great mood all the time. It was embarrassing to me that my husband wasn't sleeping in my bed anymore. Um, And I was at the point where I was either going to go with the shot or one more effort of doing something because I couldn't work out. I was still at the point where my back was killing me. I couldn't, and I still really can't exercise. So I didn't know what to do. But I was taught in my head I needed the protein, I needed the 6 meals a day, I needed to eat healthy, make healthy choices, and I just wasn't losing the weight. So I was at my wit's end
Yeah.
at that point.
Um, I'll just say it's also so hard to be doing everything right. It's maddening. Like
Mhm.
you are not alone in the like discipline, deliberate. I'm doing everything right and still like I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, I think it's awesome that like some people throw in the towel. Um, so I'm so
Yep.
glad you did not. Um, Question number two, Leanne, what made you reach out to me?
My friend had been one of your clients, and she went to the same personal trainer as me. So we actually worked out together. We would meet at the gym. Some days we would be in the same session. We would work out together. We were on the same meal plan. We have pretty much the same body type. And the both of us had experienced, yes, we were getting stronger. I was definitely getting stronger. I was, leg pressing almost 500 pounds. Like I was a beast in the gym. Like I knew that I could do those things, but the weight just wasn't coming off. If anything, I was gaining weight with all the workout I was doing. And I was always like, well, my butt's getting bigger because it's getting more jacked, but I still wasn't like, I wasn't losing weight. So my friend had said she had worked with you and she had lost 25 pounds and she wished she had gotten to you sooner. And I trusted her and spoke with you, and I had heard about fasting. It's all over the internet. A lot of people have been talking about doing different intermittent fasting. I had another friend that had done it previously and she lost a ton of weight. And like I said, Dina and I were pretty much similar similar stress levels as well. She had two kids, I have three kids, one's in cheer, I have two in cheer. So we have mirror lives. And if I figured if she could do it, then I could probably do it. So I took the leap of faith.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
I like, I said this to so there's another fat burner, Beth, and her friend Karen is like a long time fat burner. And that was it. Like, so I think that um uh if when you see something like in person, and you said that kind of like that you had a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like if it's possible for this person, then
Yeah. Then, if she can do it, I can do it type thing, you know?
absolutely. That makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Leanne, how was the process of fat burning? And so I kind of want to like almost like two segments. So both like the very beginning, if you remember the very beginning,
Mhm.
kind of like switching out of a sugar burning mode
Yep.
to um a fat burning mode. And then I'll ask you about like just kind of fat
Sure.
burning.
The first week, I hated not having coffee. I am a 1 to 2 cupper a day. I have three kids, so usually an afternoon coffee usually picks me up typically.
Mhm.
So the headache was a little bit, but I kind of knew it was coming because I've been off coffee before. So the caffeine addiction was definitely there. Tylenol works great. Um, and your body is trying to get used to not relying on the sugar. So I was a little hungry the first week, but after the first week, I was fine. Once we threw in the bulletproof coffee, that morning coffee really helped. And I don't even need the coffee or the bulletproof coffee anymore at this point. I don't start drinking it until like 10 o'clock because then I'm like, oh, I think I'm hungry. You know, I'm not looking for my morning coffee anymore, which is really nice. Um, but yeah, I mean, the first week for anything is hard. I mean, it's change, right? Like
Yeah.
you're changing your mindset, um, you're changing your body. And so it's gonna have to go through something. But like I said, once the schedule is perfectly fine, the first week, you know, shake, shake dinner. And then once you hit the second week and you put the bulletproof coffee in, you just kind of switch it. And now it's just consistent. You know, it's coffee, shake, dinner. You don't really need to think about it anymore. You just have to throw some water in a cup for your shake. So it's very convenient. And now at this point, like I said, I'm not really looking for my coffee or my bulletproof coffee until about 10. And then
Actually, Leanne, I just want to interrupt you for one moment.
yeah.
So one thing, like, regarding your first week, and this is something that I try to make like clear and also people's reality. Like, so I think a lot of people, when they think about like if they're kind of going this on their own and thinking about like, how do I, get unaddicted to carbohydrates? Like, let me just go cold turkey. Let me, I'll just stop eating these things.
Mhm.
And I think that my question is like an encouragement that I have is it's like if you're hungry, eat. So
Mhm.
was that something like was that um
I definitely had, and like you said, a fruit. You could have a fruit. So when I was hungry and I was looking for something, I had a fruit,
mhm,
and that sustained me enough to get me to dinner.
awesome,
Yeah. So I did have that.
great.
Um, and then even now, if I'm hungry, I'm like, oh, I can have a fruit. So I'll have a fruit. Um, but that doesn't happen as often as it did that first week.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That's great. That's great. Okay. I didn't mean to interrupt you. And
Nope,
so
you're fine.
so like so yes, so now like just kind of doing fat burning, like how is that um or how was that in your program? Like uh following the program. Like
It's really easy. I've gone away multiple times since I started this program. Um, so I didn't spend as much on food while I was away.
awesome.
I have had the ability, you told me that, you know, I can order travel packets of things. So I just took the travel packets with me. I planned the number of days that I needed the bulletproof coffee, the number of days I needed the shakes. And then I just spent money on dinner. So I saved money that way. Um, but it was easy, you know, got up, grabbed coffee, and put my bulletproof in there. And then I just, you know, all you need to do is bring a shaker and buy a water and then dump your shake in it. So it's very convenient for me. Um, and it's easy meal prep planning.
Yep.
um, for those, you know, for that. But it's an easy program to follow. Like you don't really have to. I hated counting macros.
Mm-hmm.
I tried the My Fitness Plan online app thingy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't have time. I have 3 kids. I don't have time to sit there and be like, "Well, how much am I putting of olive oil in that, and how much I need to weigh things to figure out how much things weigh to add that." I don't have time. I don't have time. So, it's just simple planning for me,
That, you were someone you probably traveled the most
and I had
potential,
another surgery
right?
in the middle of all that.
So, like, I think a lot of people think, um, that any approach to something that's intentional is going to be hard or harder when you're out of your element. Um, and also like people that have full lives, I feel like I work with a lot of like busy moms and it's like you don't need more to do. So I love hearing that reflection back, like, and this is what I think about fat burning, is that like it simplifies things. You do less, like you don't
It
have to
does.
figure out more. And even on the exercise front, um so I think a lot of approaches to weight loss, like, yes, there's a focus on food and a lot of focus on exercise. And so, actually, so would you speak to that? Just the fact that, like, not even being able to exercise.
Well, and the problem not being able to exercise has been hard because I was such a gym rat. So that lifestyle and changing that, that was my that was also my stress outlet.
Hmm.
But also being at the gym for 2 hours, I don't really have the time to do that. Um, and that's what I was there for 2 hours. I would do weightlifting for about an hour, and then I would walk on the treadmill for a half hour. But then I would also the time it takes to get to the gym and the time it takes to get home from the gym. Like you add all that in, and it was a 2 hour span that I was gone from my house. 2 hour span of me not being with my children, not being with my husband, making sure I have that time in my day around schedules was very, very difficult for me. Um, Now I can just go for a 20-minute walk and get that stress and my alone time that I need as a mom and have that, stress reliever that way. I don't
Yep.
need the 2 hours of being there and, you know, can lift things up and put them down type thing anymore. Because I'm still not lifting heavy. I still have,
Yep.
I'm only, what, 5 weeks post surgery, 6 weeks post surgery. Haven't been cleared to do heavy weightlifting. I'm only walking. Um,
So you had surgery on your back, Leanne.
yes, I've had 2 surgeries on my back in 6 months. So the only thing I can really do is walk at this point. So that's what I'm doing. I'm walking, I'm getting out there, I'm doing the 20 minutes. So it's only 20 minutes that I need versus the 2 hours that I was gone. And 2 hours with 3 kids is a lot.
It's a lot for someone with no kids.
Right.
Like, I can't even imagine
Yeah.
with humans that are
And then
relying,
to
waiting
come
for you.
home and be like, okay, I was taught you need 30 grams of protein and carbohydrates before and after your workout. And I'm like, how do I get that in? Like, I can't have a protein shake 5 times a day to get that type of protein in. I can't have a protein bar. Like, I need real food. And how am I going to do that? And I'm not a fish eater. And like, my mind was constantly stressed at what I was supposed to eat, when I was supposed to eat it, and then trying to figure out the calories and macros and all of that stuff. It wasn't worth my time anymore. And yes, I gave up. I gave up plenty of times because I just was so frustrated that I just
Mm,
couldn't do it anymore.
yep. And so this was not that.
No, no, I don't have to think about it.
Love it. Well, I'll just say that's one of the cooler things about fat burning, that it's like, you know, really, like, there are some things, like, I ask people, it's like, measure your fats. Like, let's not, like, with,
Right.
like, but otherwise it's like, we eyeball protein and then we eat till fullness.
Yep.
And so I just think that, like, the nature of your body now, like, it protects muscle, it um recycles protein, like,
Hmm.
it's just so much more efficient. And so it's like you have, what do I want to say? It's like we kind of maximize, like, what we do or what we consume. So it's like it would be clear if you needed more
Hmm.
of something, and then you would
Yep.
just have it,
Yep.
versus all these numbers and timelines and um
Right. Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely way easier, more convenient. We've, like my daughter's in cheer, so I was within the first week, I think I went away. I'm like, how am I going to do this? But you're like, it's easy, just do it. And I'm like, oh, it was pretty easy. And then I went to Vegas for a cheer conference, and then I went to Disney with my kids. And so it was very, very convenient just to take my stuff with me.
It's awesome.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yep.
Love hearing that.
Yeah.
Um, Leanne, so what is life like now? So before we talked about more weight, feeling frustrated, like snoring.
Yep.
Um,
I think with like, so it's my husband said with just losing 5 pounds, I had stopped snoring. So he's finally getting sleep again. And that was my main concern, right? Like, I didn't know I was snoring. Certainly wasn't as rested, but I'm definitely more rested now because I'm not snoring. Sleeping better. I definitely can control my cravings a little bit more. Like you had said with the bulletproof coffee, you don't need to drink it in one sitting. I sip it all day. If I'm feeling hungry, I take another sip and it kind of quells the cravings. Um, and I just I feel more myself. You know, I feel mentally better about
mhm.
how I look and feel. My other concern with the weight was because I have back problems. I knew that I needed to lose the weight to help my back feel better.
Yeah,
Um, so I knew that I needed, and I'm sure that's with everybody, the physical implications of being overweight also hindered on me. Um, I have back problems. I have stomach problems. I've had a hiatal hernia repair that I knew if I got too heavy could reinduce that. I have heart problems. So, all of these things, I knew that I could not be at the weight that I was. So, this has all helped me feel better physically, mentally. Um, People are finally starting to be like, what are you doing? How did you lose the weight? I'm like, oh, intermittent fasting. And one of my friends, she just cut sugar and carbs altogether. And she's like, that's all you're doing is just intermittent fasting? I'm like, mm-hmm. Like, because she's missing those things and I don't have to miss those things. Um, so I feel that my clothes fit better.
yeah,
Like I'm not stretching out my shirts as much when I put them on to like try to stretch them out so that they're not clinging to me as much
yeah.
or accentuating the areas I don't like. So it feels all around better.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say to your friend's point, and this is uh like you're able to do intermittent fasting like
Yeah.
really comfortably because of all of the stuff that you have done and all of the stuff that you do. And I
Yep.
think that so that's something, like I make this asinine statement at times. It's like if you want to lose weight, it's like don't eat. Like kind of, but it's
Yeah.
like, well, what are the things that enable us to not eat comfortably? And how do we know how to eat when we are eating? Like,
Right.
so I think that when people do, it's not an unfamiliar thing to hear. Either people will do intermittent fasting with mixed results, with a very like kind of challenging experience. Um,
Hmm.
they'll abandon it because they
Yep.
don't either like fully understand what it can do, or like they just weren't. And what do I want to say? It's just uncomfortable. It's
Hmm.
unpleasant. They're still kind of
Yep.
having this like internal struggle of wanting to eat and just, we're just going to zip our lips between these hours. And I
Hmm.
think that it all boils down to just not being set up well. And this is
Yeah.
something like, um, I'll say, you know, for people that do like are slightly longer fasts, it's like this is so easy. And it's like that's like intermittent fasting can be so easy when you're set up well. And I
Yes.
think that so all of the steps that you've gone through and the behaviors that you continue to do, like your body is just so well situated. And then I feel like it's like we talk about like, yeah, I did this. It's like I had this or I deviated in this way. And it's like once again, like this orientation that your body has, it's like it makes certain things so easy and comfortable. Like you don't even need your bulletproof coffee. It's like
Right.
that is the goal. And you know how
Mhm.
to use it, like when you want it, need it,
Yeah.
like to help you get to your next meal. But what was I gonna say? So anyway, just that being situated, that was it. So then it's like it makes some things easier that are helpful in the effort, and then it
Mhm.
also makes some things harder that are helpful in the effort. Like it's harder to gain weight, it's harder to
Mhm.
kind of like run aground onto having cravings all the time or
Right.
energetic crashes. And so it's like you've just, because of this process that we go through, this like mitochondrial reconstruction and getting the body more insulin sensitive, it's like you just have a different your like the terrain is different in your body. The
Yeah.
underpinnings are different.
Yeah, and I was thinking in my head the other day, I'm like, I think this is the longest I have continued on a program. It's been 5 months, I think. I started mid-March. Um,
Yeah.
I don't
Yep.
think I've ever lasted 5 months on any diet program that I've ever been on. And that just carries at how easy it is. And that I'm like, I just keep on going. Like, it's not hard. It's not hard. It's just I didn't even realize it was 5 months until I really thought about it.
I think it's 4.5, but
Okay.
still you're like
Yeah.
practically there. I think it's been like just like 18 weeks or something
Okay.
like that.
Okay. But still, I think after a month, I'm like, forget this. It's not working. I'm starving. I don't want to do this anymore. And, I've been on those super restrictive diets that I was restricting myself so much and still not losing weight that I'm like, what is even the point? But this is so straightforward and I'm continuing to lose weight
Yay.
even after 18 weeks that I mean, why not? You know?
That like yes, this is meant to be like my goal is to make like fat burners for life and then for this to be like your lifestyle for life, like the
Yeah.
last diet you'll ever start.
Right.
And hopefully, like my whole goal is for this to be not only for um the process and then the practices, like to just be so easy,
Yep.
for this to be, like you said, so like straightforward and simple that it's like,
Yeah.
why would I ever do anything different?
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
and even when like my big thing, so obviously you said yes to this request for an
Mhm.
interview. And
Yep.
so I've been reaching out to people that, have been fat burners for years or close to a year. And one girlfriend and longtime fat burner, she's like, ooh, a couple was like, I've been kind of treating summer like summer, Michaela, like
Mhm.
I still have some weight to lose, like but I haven't been gaining. And it's like,
Mhm.
this is your life, so it's like if you want to have cocktails and pizza at 10 at night after a show, it's like like either what to do to offset things, or if just like not gaining weight is like a good trade-off, it's like
It
that's
is.
great, you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
and then you can just like get back to being like a little more conscious when you desire, or you can just
Yep.
lose weight at a slower rate. Like that sounds good too.
Yep. Yeah.
um so Leanne, my final question, then we'll do like your kind of results. Would you recommend this program?
Absolutely. I mean, it's definitely like I've said it over. It's so easy to get on board and start the process, and it's easy to continue. Um, so that's one. And then I'm only, like I had said when we were on trips, I was only spending money on dinner. So you're saving money that way. Um, and then, it's I'm a woman over 40. I'm going to be 45 in October,
So,
starting the change probably, and it's harder to lose weight at my age.
mhm.
And this has been such a success for me, that I would want my friends and family to be able to have the same success as I do. I am, you know, a helper. I always have been a helper. I've always cared about people, um and that's just, I would love for other people to have the opportunity to feel better mentally, physically, health-wise. Like I've gotten all of those things out of control that I want other people to experience it too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm 100% with you. I think that like this change, like in terms of losing weight or improving health or feeling better or having more energy, it's like it is attainable. Like it
Mhm.
is not out of reach. It's like
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a perpetual confusion. And so that's awesome that
Yeah.
like you have freedom or a greater sense of control and you'd like for others to
To
be
have
able to
that.
do.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and I have people who are like upset that they can't lose the weight. And I, I just want to be like, use this. Like it works. It worked for me. Like I'm probably the one who's most complicated with all my health issues and everything that's going on, that like it was easy for me. It was an easy slide in to my lifestyle.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Leanne, you're bringing me back. I remember talking with you the first time, and it was like, ooh, like there's a bunch of stuff going on here. And
Hmm.
then it was
Yep.
like, ooh, like uh, you've done intermittent fasting. You've been exposed to a variety of tactics. Like you're familiar with a lower carbohydrate diet. So it's like, how like I am such a believer that the body just works in a certain way. And so it's like if something's not working, then something's just off. And we just need to figure out what that is.
Yeah.
So I do remember thinking, like, you know, is this body going to be very complicated to shift? And I
Right.
feel like, um, and I feel like in many respects, you are actually like the same or even easier than most. Um,
Yeah. I'm an emotional eater. I grew up in an Italian family. You eat when you're happy, you eat when you're sad, you eat when you're tired, you eat when, like just go for it. Just go, 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 go. And this is having my bulletproof coffee and having a sip takes that need to grab something for a snack. Like that's my snack is my bulletproof coffee.
hmm,
Um, so it's easier for me to grab that than to grab the potato chips that are in the pantry.
yeah, yep,
um, which is what I did often. I ate probably more potato chips than my kids did. Um, so, like I want other people to have that access to something so easy.
yep, yep,
And I feel like the diet world is so overcomplicated now with different choices on like what things to do. But this is so easy to just grab and do it and not think about it because everybody
yes,
has such a busy life right now that they can't do those things,
yeah,
you know?
agreed,
Hmm.
agreed. Yeah, if you have to think, like that takes the most energy in our body, it's like,
Yep,
it's a matter of time before you
it
kind of
is. Check out.
totally.
Yep. Yep.
So Leanne, I like to like kind of talk about like where we started, how when we started,
Sure.
and where we are now.
Okay.
And so I think if I can talk about age, so you said age.
Hmm.
Um and so you said you are 45, you're becoming 45.
I'm going to be 45 in October.
Okay. All right. You are 44. That is great. Leanne, how tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
And Leanne, how much did you weigh when you began?
191.6.
And you started on March 25th?
Sure.
Yeah. Um, and I think and then you said, how much do you weigh today?
I just weighed myself. I was 164.6.
Awesome. And you said that equals 27 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's so great. So that, so 27 pounds, it's like 4.5 months, just under 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's fantastic. And you're continuing to lose.
And I'm continuing to lose. Yep.
Um, I think, so that is great. And again, like when I don't know if it was caught on camera or not, but when we first got on, I was just like, you look amazing. Like, I feel like you you keep looking like not just slimmer, but also younger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you
Yep.
also think that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I do. The yeah. My face definitely is the giveaway. I definitely think it definitely looks better.
You look like, I just feel like you look like slimmer, younger, like more beautiful. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
it's like your sister, like in that other photo.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
It's
Like
really,
my daughter had said, she's like, "That's what you look like?" Yeah. That's what I looked like. My daughter is even shocked at the change in the two pictures. So,
I believe that.
yeah.
What was I gonna say? And so, um, maybe my just final statement about like the change that you've created, there's still a desire for more. And I feel like what you're sharing is that this is just possible to keep up. So, and
Yeah, it definitely is. And I can work around, we're allowed to eat certain times for the carbs and stuff. And
Mhm.
I can work if there's a party coming up, then I can work
Yep,
around
yep,
that and schedule it that day or, and I can manage it better and figure it out. So, um, even with that, it's still not that hard to figure out. So you can still eat your cake, right? You can still
yep,
have ice cream, especially in the summer. It's like, "Oh, it's so hot, let's go get ice cream." Okay. Like,
yep,
I don't feel guilty having those indulgences like I would if I was on a more restrictive diet because I felt the guilt
yep.
every time I varied, and I don't.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I feel like the thing I want to point out with that also is that, like, um, so I think it's really useful. Another fat burner kind of highlighted this, that there is like indulgence within structure.
Hmm.
So I think a lot of fat burners used to feel like I say yes to ice cream and then boop, like I don't
Let's
know
go.
where the end of that line is. I just
Hmm.
keep going. But it's
Yep.
if you know that you have carb feasts with regularity, it's like, well, this will just be that. Okay, great.
Hmm.
Like, so it's like there will always be another carb. There's space for it. And that's reasonable, like to have
Yep.
life that has, fun stuff, weekends in Vegas, like, cocktails because that sounded
Yep.
great. Like,
Yep.
and that we just know how to
Right.
just get back. Um, so that it enables you to
Yep.
live and still have the progress that you desire.
Correct, correct, because you're still gonna have, you know, pasta surrounding you, like
Yep. Yep.
you're
As an
still gonna have,
Italian.
my kids love French. Yeah, my kids love French fries and chicken nuggets, so they're gonna be in front of me, so, one day I'll be able to, like, I can't make not have it today, but I can have it tomorrow, so it's good. It's good. I like it, so I
Excellent.
can still have it. Like, that's the point that I'm
Yeah.
trying to make. I can still have the French fries when it's in my appropriate time span.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well, I'll just say also, I know we're gonna wrap up in just one moment, but you like, you know, uh all is never lost. And so even if it's like we've talked about, I had a bite of a grilled cheese, I had like a couple spoonfuls of this because it was there. And it's like, well, that's pretty reasonable, you
Yep.
know. And I just love that it's like there isn't this like now all is lost. Now I need to jump off the cliff into, pizza and pasta. Um, and so it's like I think what I love about like how you've approached this also is just in a really level-headed way. Like weight loss can be such like a high emotional experience. And I think that like even we had some like a couple little times of like, come to Jesus talks in terms of like shifting or not shifting.
Yep.
But would say for the most part, I hope this like helps people to feel calmer. It does. Fat burning makes people feel calmer. That the process is structured enough to create more calmness.
Yep.
But also you, Leanne, I feel like you've just been this like steady, like participant, followed directions, and
Yeah,
made
and
things
that's what
work.
I also liked was that you were there every step of the way. You gave me the advice and still give me the advice that I need if I need it. Um, which is great because you also need that hand holding sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would say yes. I would say you are more self-reliant than most. But that's like, I'm like, what can I do for this woman? She's just following instructions. Okay. But I'm happy to hear that because you're
Yeah.
right. Like, and I'm happy that you used it when you needed it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep, definitely.
It's great.
Definitely. And it's easy to see that it's been successful. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, busy mom
Really.
of 3, cheer coach, personal taxi driver, of all things. So, if I can do it, anybody else can do it. And I think that's the most important thing is, you have very busy lives out there
Yeah.
and it's something that can be easily inserted into your life without causing too much of a huge upheaval, um, and something that can benefit you as a person because we all need to take time for ourselves and do something for us.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Really good.
Yeah.
Well, Leanne, thank you for taking this time. Thank you for saying yes to this
No problem.
and just like being such a like brilliant example of like what this mode can do and um but just being like open and willing to listen and follow instructions and then just be so generous with your time and experience.
Of
Really
course, of
appreciate
course.
that.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you've done and you have shown me the way.
Love it. You're great. All right, my
Yeah.
dear, I'm gonna stop the recording
Okay.
wherever this is. Fabulous.